And welcome back to another segment of the 10 Count. We're at Hollywood Smoke here in the beautiful city of Santa Monica. I'm Steve Kim, joined by Michael Montero on Montero on Boxing and Doug Fischer, editor-in-chief of Ring TV. Guys, we got it again. I don't know if it's the newest version of Police Academy in boxing, but April 9th from the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Manny Pacquiao in his farewell fight, we think, against Tim Bradley. First of all, Mike, do you buy it? Is this the swan song of the Pac-Man?
Hell to the no. Was Mayweather-Berto his last fight?
We hope. We hope.
But it won't be. No, this isn't it. Okay, Manny has spent money he hasn't even made yet, so he's going to continue fighting. I think that the announcement of this fight was met with a collective in the boxing community. But I think that's because these guys have shared 24 rounds, and you could make the argument that Manny won 20 of them. I mean, other than a couple of judges and Floyd Mayweather fans, that's pretty much what everyone else thinks. The difference now is Manny's a lot more worn out.
Right.
Coming off a layoff, hasn't fought since last May against Floyd. Bradley's fought twice since then. And, you know, the fight against Vargas, I thought, was a good quality fight against a quality young fighter. So maybe there's a chance that Bradley can take this one. I don't know. It's a tough
Doug,
sell.
are you buying what Bob Arum is saying? No. This is not the third fight. This is a whole new Tim Bradley. So it's an original matchup. That is Bob Arum being a promoter.
Yeah,
right
absolutely.
There.
I'll say this. I think it's going to be a decent fight. I think fight number 3 is going to exceed fight number 1 and fight number 2, if ever so slightly in terms of sustained action, in terms of drama. And I think age is a big factor. Age and just the fact that Manny Pacquiao is more public figure, hero in his homeland, politician in the Philippines than he is actual prize fighter. And it's been that way since at least 2011. I think he's sort of been mailing it in, at least for the last 3 years, as far as his dedication to the sport of boxing. And even if at this stage of his life and his professional career, if he could train 100%, I don't think his body can handle it. I think if he really trained the way he used to train, with the vigor and the passion that he used to train with, Steve, we saw 10 years ago at the Wildcard Boxing Club when nobody cared to come and watch him train, he'll hurt himself. He'll injure his shoulder, he'll hurt his hand, his calves. Something will fall apart because he's just been a pro for far too long. He's been a professional boxer for 20 years. So I do think there's an opportunity here with Bradley, who's pretty well preserved. He's battle-tested, not yet battle-worn. And I do think Teddy Atlas has got Bradley's mind in the right place.
I do think there is an Atlas effect, but I don't know how much it is because let's be honest, November 7th, they fought the ghost of the shell of Brandon Rios. I mean, that's just
true.
the truth.
It's true.
There were heavy bags that had more life.
Yeah.
I heard some stuff that was pretty alarming about Brandon Rios leading up to that fight. I'm talking about being 40, 50 pounds above his fighting weight, not being in the gym for months, fainting once or twice before the weigh-in.
Wow.
So, Mike, how much do we really draw a conclusion from the initial foray of Teddy Atlas and Tim Bradley?
You know, Rios was one of those guys that needed to stay busy to keep his weight down. If he didn't stay busy, he just ballooned. So yeah, Bradley was fighting a punching bag. That being said, he did what you're supposed to do against a punching bag. This is a guy who's not known for power. And suddenly Bradley had power. Now, of course, it wasn't world-class power, but he had a punching bag in front of him. He got rid of him. I think the Atlas effect is motivation. Bradley knows how to box. He's been doing this for a while. He's a consummate professional. But sometimes when you get more advanced in your career, you've made millions of dollars, you're a family man, you've got kids, a wife, you need that motivation. And Atlas, especially when the camera's right here, he knows it.
He's a fireman.
Boy, that motivation comes out.
He's a fireman. Doug, for years, Bob Arum has said to us, no one cares about the undercard, and we've been through a lot of Butterbean Saint can't fight. Okay, we've been through a lot of that stuff. Yuri Borman.
Right.
Okay. The fact that he's actually putting on Gilberto Ramirez, Arthur Abraham, Oscar Valdez, Evgeny Gradovich.
Good fight.
Isn't that...
Could steal the show, Steve.
Right,
Yeah.
but my point is, isn't that an admittance, Doug, that
his main event.
This is a tough sell.
It's a tough sell, absolutely. If this was 5 years ago when Manny Pacquiao was at the peak of his popularity internationally, we wouldn't have gotten an undercard this interesting to hardcore fans.
Yeah.
This potentially entertaining, because I think those are also good matchups. I think Gilberto Ramirez against Arthur Abraham. Those are two, they're not very special super middleweights, but they come to fight. And the featherweight bout between Oscar Valdez and Evgeny Gradovich, I think that has the potential to steal the show. You have two very aggressive, come-forward 126-pounders.
If Manny Pacquiao definitively beats Bradley for the third time, do you think that there's any chance, and I've said this, I know it's going to be a collective groan for our fine audience, talk's going to start up again of a certain rematch that took place May 2nd with Floyd Mayweather. Isn't that a natural?
Yeah, I don't even think he has to win definitively. I think if he gets the W here, it's going to be talked about. There's simply too much money on the table. And I'm telling you, just from things I've seen on Twitter, on Facebook, on all of it, there's still interest among some fans. Believe it or not,
there is.
as disgusting as that sounds,
Sick.
it's still a million pay-per-view buys.
A lot of sick people out there.
I know. It's like watching a really bad horror movie.
Hey, to each their own.
No, but Doug, that's the point though. Whatever we think about it, I don't argue with the public demand. I mean, think about it. Duran Leonard did a rematch 8 years after No Mas, their third fight. I remember, I think it was 1989, cold winter night at the Mirage.
And that same year, Leonard and Tommy Hearns did a rematch of their first fight, which took place in 1981. So that was 8 years later. Here's the thing. Tommy and Leonard put it down.
Yes.
They were older, they were slower, they were heavier, and they fought for 12 rounds. You kids at home, go to YouTube and check out the rematch between Tommy Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard. That's a fight. The problem with the rematch of Mayweather-Pacquiao is the first fight was basically $1 billion sparring session.
Yeah.
But I understand these guys have their fans, and some of these fans, actually a lot of these fans are very loyal to them, and it's very important for their fans to have bragging rights over each other, so they're going to tune in, and they would pay for it. Me? I'm going on vacation if that fight happens.
I'll send us a postcard. All right, well, on behalf of Doug Fischer and Michael Montero, this is Steve Kim saying till the next round, goodbye, everybody.